Hi guys, welcome back to the channel. I'm the GQ Jedi. If you're not already subscribed to me, blast the subscribe button down below so you don't miss any valuable Star Wars content. Today I want to discuss grading acrylic chambers, acrylic carbonite chambers. That's right. I've had a few people ask me what my thoughts are on grading action figures. My stance on this is simply this. I don't do it. I don't do it. I have nothing against it. I understand the reason why many collectors do this. It's the preservation and the authentic, to get something authenticated, to know that it is a true, OG Kenner, genuine article. It has been a factory-made, sanctioned Kenner piece. It's legit. It's not a knockoff, it's not a reproduction, it's not something that somebody made in their garage, it's not 3D printed, etc., etc., etc. So I understand the reasons why many collectors do have their figures or things graded, whether it be mainly loose. When you buy something loose, it's out of the package, that would be a cause to get something graded. But I know a lot of people also get packaged items graded. Again, to be authenticated, to know that it is a true original piece, or they simply want to have it graded because it increases the value. I know, crazy, right? Getting something graded actually increases the value. You'll take something like a pop-up R2 that goes for, $450 to $650 loose. You get it graded, you're tacking on instantly another $5, $6, $7 plus $100. Maybe my math is wrong. I don't really, I don't dabble in those markets. I don't dabble in the graded pricing because it's not for me. But instantly something will increase in value once it has been graded. This is a common thing that I think a lot of collectors know. So if you want to authenticate something, or if you simply want to increase the value of said toy, you get it graded. It's just what it is. You'll get a nice grade, with a nice, hopefully you get an 80 or above, saying that this toy is an exemplary example of a graded action figure or ship vehicle, whatever it is, because you can get anything graded, honestly. A lot of people buy stuff that's boxed. An MOC, they'll maybe get graded. I see that all the time. Again, I have nothing against it. As I always tell you guys, do you. It's your collection. Do what makes you happy. Doesn't matter what I say or any other collector out there. But I've had enough people ask me about my thoughts on grading, and the whole acrylic, I call it the acrylic carbonite chamber. It's not for me. As you see in my collection, I have everything loose, and the few pieces that are in acrylic, I do have a couple MOCs that are in acrylic, but they're not graded. I don't, and partially the reason for that is because I don't want to spend the money. There is a twofold process with getting something graded. You're going to send your piece out to a company like CAS or AFA, I believe, are the two companies that do the grading that most people rely on. You're going to send your piece out, and it could be months and months and months before you get that piece back from them. So you're taking a chance on something happening in shipping, which is another reason why I don't want to do this. I don't know if I'm going to get the piece back in the way I sent it to them. I don't know if I'm going to get the piece back at all. That's a problem for me. And then also, I don't want to spend the money. You do pay a nice hefty fee to get said piece graded by one of these companies, to have them authenticate it and put a nice sticker on there that says, it got a blank out of 100 grade. You're going to pay for that. And to me, it's just not something I personally need. I see why people do it. I totally understand it and respect that. But me personally, I like to have my things loose. I know when I take things into my collection that is a legit piece because I do my homework, I research, I play with these toys as an adult collector long enough to know what I'm dealing with when I get it in, so I know it's legit. So I don't need to have a company. I don't need to pay a company to tell me it's legit. And I have no plans on reselling these toys down the road. These are things for my collection because I actually love Star Wars, the toy collecting hobby. I don't think of these things as resale value items. I'm not what you'd call a seller. I'm what you'd call a diehard collector. That's me. Again, you do you. I've not slinging hate or any negativity towards anybody that does either. To each their own, as I always try to preach to you guys, because I truly do believe that this is a hobby. It should be fun. Do what you like to do what makes you happy. That's it. Don't matter what I say, don't matter what the guy on the left or the right says. Do what makes you happy. That's all that matters at the end of the day. You have to put your head on your own pillow. I don't do that for you. You do that for you. So whatever you want to do is your business. But for me personally, like I said, I'm not a fan of it. I don't have anything graded in my collection. And if I put something in acrylic, it's an MOC because simply I want the card back and the bubble to be intact. I don't want dust getting on it, and I don't want something to happen to it should it fall over. The acrylic case is going to take the damage. I could take having an acrylic case get scratched or dinged or chipped, but I don't want that bubble getting chipped. I don't want that bubble breaking, because some of these bubbles are so old that the bubbles break. Oxides, like the plastic, just degradation, it breaks down, and especially the Return of the Jedi bubbles, they really get yellowed and then they bust open. Same with the POTF, the Power of the Force, same deal. These bubbles are notorious for breaking. It can happen on any one of these MOCs if it's a legit Kenner piece. I'm all fan for putting it in an acrylic case to protect it for preservation's sake, but for actually grading, I'm good. I don't need to do it. And so that's pretty much my stance on that. Like I said, I have a few pieces that are, I have a speeder bike that's in an acrylic box. I have, all my MOCs I have in boxes. I have, I don't know if you guys can see this, but I have the Desert Sailed Skiff mini rig in a acrylic box. Want to protect the box, the integrity of the box, so it makes sense. But beyond that, that's where I draw the line. I don't have anything graded, and I don't see that that's ever going to happen. If I should get a piece that is graded that I take into my collection, so be it. But I've been collecting long enough to know my taste, my preferences, and that's pretty much my stance. So for any of you out there wondering what I think about grading, I know some of you have asked me about it in the past, and I've never really addressed this issue. It's not an issue for me, but I thought I would talk about it as you guys have asked. I don't do grading. I just don't. It's not my bag of chips. And that's it. So just wanted to address that for you guys, let you know my thoughts on it. I thumbs up to anybody that does grading. I've seen beautiful collections of loose, the whole run all graded, and every figure is in its own little acrylic carbonite chamber tomb, and they stack up really nicely because they're in acrylic boxes. And I've seen the whole loose collections just beautifully graded, and they look awesome. And my hat's off to those collectors that do that stuff. But for me, I'm good. I like having my figures loose. And one of the main reasons why I don't like entombing, I don't like putting my figures in these acrylic cases, because you have to literally hacksaw these cases out. Should you decide to change your mind after you have got a CAS or an AFA graded action figure come back to you, you literally have to hacksaw that acrylic thing open to get that figure back out. And should you change your mind that you decide, you know what, I want to do XYZ with this thing, you have to hack that thing open. I don't want to ever go through that. And I also like to occasionally pick up my toys and hold them. Call me Crazy Carl. My name's not Carl, but you can call me crazy. I like to pick up my toys every once in a while, and I like to feel like I'm a kid and that these toys are still what they were to me then as they are now. And I like to have that tangible item in my hand, and when it's in a box, it doesn't feel the same. So occasionally I'm going to want to do that. Once it's in a box, like a graded piece, you can't just easily pop it off. These MOC cases I have, you can pop this top off and you could slide the MOC out. That's one thing. But once it's been graded, it is literally sealed in there, and you have to hack the damn thing apart to get said item out. And that's just like, whew, that gives me a headache just thinking about it. So No, that's another reason why I don't do it. So that's my spiel. That's my rant. That's my Saturday, my Saturday sermon, as it were, because I do release these videos on Saturday mornings. Typically, I like to drop them at 7 a.m. Pacific Standard Time, 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time here in the States. And that's it, guys. That's today's video. Thought you guys would want to know. And as always, I do appreciate you guys for watching. And if you enjoyed this video, please give the old like button a thumbs up to support the channel. And if you've not already done so, blast the subscribe button and hit the notifications bell so you don't miss any valuable Star Wars content. And remember, collect or collect not, there is no try.